Upper air hose assembly off. Take that off. Then you have to unhook all the connectors off the upper intake manifold.
Where are they all at?
All of them across the front here. All these connectors, all these brackets have to come loose. Everything has to come unplugged. And then once we do all that,
How many plugs do you got? Do you know?
1, 2, 3, 2, 3. It's like 3 plugs, 1, 2, 3 vacuum hoses so far. So we'll get them off and then we'll go from there. And then let me get this off. And I've had that some bitch off before.
How much is the platinum on Yeah, it's fine now.
You separating the throttle body.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember spring pouring down, it had a pull bar on it. Pull wire.
So if you're just joining us, we're working on a 2017 Jeep Wrangler. What we're working on, what we found, is the oil filter housing / oil cooler they're built together on this particular motor has been leaking, and that leak drips down from where your oil filter is. If you want to look over here where my finger is touching, there's your oil filter cap. Underneath that is the oil cooler, and it is leaking down in the valley pan. The valley pan sits between the two heads. It runs down the back of your valley pan and down the back of your engine. As it goes down the back of your engine, it looks like you got a rear main seal leaking. So you're going to hear a lot of folks, if you go to get an oil change from your local oil change shop, oh, you got a rear main seal leaking. Well, make sure that your shop is treating you right and investigating the leak all the way to where it's originally coming from. Otherwise, you're putting a rear main seal in on something that ain't going to fix your problem.
Either one of them. You can fill it all the way up, son. Did it start?
No, it doesn't have enough.
Gas in it?
Got knockers on there like you're supposed to be able to push it back and lock it. I guess you put it in your place.
See if I can separate that up and give you a better look at your oil filter cap. And if you want to take a walk with me, we'll go over and I'll show you what this looks like on the new one. Get the gaskets out of the way here. So here's what we're looking at. Here's the cap I was just touching. This one's orange, that one was black. That cap, this is sitting in your engine underneath that big plastic piece that you just saw. That cap sits right here with the filter inside of it. What's different, what I'm holding in my hands and what we're going to see come out of that car, is underneath here is plastic. And what leaks is where the oil cooler, which is this particular piece, marries up with this particular piece right here. Okay, when you put all that together, this plastic piece leaks. Gets brittle, cracks, just like anything plastic out in the weather for a long period of time. Gets hot, gets cold, gets hot, gets cold, the plastic gets brittle and it breaks. Well, I've chosen this Dorman product and Dorman can pay me later for the plug. But I've chosen this Dorman product because this is all metal, right? This won't leak again when we're done with this job. But this is what we're trying to get to, and this is underneath what they call the plenum. The plenum is that upper intake manifold. And when you get it apart, here's all the gaskets we're going to need to put all this back together. Now, this is a pretty comprehensive kit. The only thing that's missing is there's a sensor that's going to go in here. We're going to have to move and unplug, replug when we get to it. But this is the job we're doing on this 2017 Jeep Wrangler, is to install this product so we don't have any more oil leaks. Let's get back over. We'll see what Tom's up to.
I need something staying.
Where you got to get to, brother?
I gotta get all the way back here. I need to build something.
Got a ramp for the.
Mom's got that step stool in the garage.
Take two ladders.
Yeah.
Take this
laying
ladder
on the table.
and that ladder and put on either side.
That's what I used last time.
Huh?
That's what I used.
Take these two ladders, put on either side, and put something between them.
This Jeep sits a little tall.
It helps to get them tires off and get that thing close to the ground, but for short fellers like us, you gotta still get up in there. Still a long reach. Yeah, that's better.
Frank's gonna be brave and hold the flashlight. That's a dangerous job.
Hey, I've known this man since we was 5 years old. I ain't scared of that flashlight. He's yelled at me before. It's all right. Yeah, I can see it and get to it from here. You want to grab it? So what we're looking at, give you a little bit of a picture of, kind of hard to see. Way back down inside of there, my little finger's pointing at it. Got to get to that little guy right there. And as you can see, there's the firewall and the cowl. And that's kind of tucked up underneath there. It's a tight squeeze and a long reach. And look, alternator's backwards, just in case we didn't get that earlier. We still got a backwards alternator. Hey, I'm gonna give it back to the camera lady. She's in charge of the camera. Up and away.
Fill it up.
Yeah. So while we got a minute, I'm gonna steal the camera from Miss Lisa, and I'm gonna show you something about this alternator. We keep joking about this alternator, but if you notice on the 2017, something you might not see on others, you'll notice here where my finger is, there's not a clutch on this alternator. You'll notice that some alternators have a little extension on the front of here, a clutch that will engage and disengage that pulley to charge your battery off and on, so you don't overcharge your battery. It creates a memory, so when you change your battery, you might want to talk to a technician and reset the memory, right? And a lot of the folks have the scanners that it takes to do that. You need to reset the memory of that battery so you don't put a new battery in and then overcharge and cook your battery, because the alternator is thinking you're working with an older battery. The PCM thinks about those kinds of things and makes sure that older batteries need to be charged more than newer batteries do. So, just a friendly reminder. One of those hard lessons learned the hard way.
Tom's behaving nicely. There's been very few bad words I'm going to have to bleep out so far.
Well, be patient. It's early. I will say,
You got one coming.
you got one coming.
Okay, here we go. Close your ears, kids.
I can see it. Now you might notice that Tom is using a snap-on ratchet. So a little plug for snap-on. Of course, a real technician will use something from Sears. You get a good craftsman. Well, Sears ain't around anymore, but get you a good craftsman and that'll work. What you gotta have, brother?
Not sure what he's reaching for here. Frank, maybe you can explain what he's doing.
I'm not sure where he's at on this one. I'm on the other side. I can't see of him. It's hard to talk with his mouth full. He's holding that flashlight. He won't let me hold it no more. He don't want to yell at me today.
You have to loosen this side support bracket for the intake to come off, and the bolts are all the way down here in the bottom.
You know, I want to pick on Chrysler a little bit. They put all these extra supports to support this plastic intake manifold when they could have just made the intake manifold out of aluminum and been done with it, and it would support itself. But what do I know?
That's why the engineers get paid the big bucks.
That's right. Somebody probably makes more money than you and me and him and all them put together.
A little plug to baby brother, who's an engineer.
I miss. Let's see if I can get that last one back there, brother. No, you're up. Push it back. There back. Together. 1, 2, 3. Oh, we're hanging up on my side. There it is.
We got it.
I've got it.
All right.
And that right there is a plenum or upper intake. And look, they're even nice enough to give you the torque specs when you got to put it back together. How about that? You like fruit? How about them apples? Which is exactly why I pick on Tom about his tools. But you can tell a lot about a man that if you use the right tools, do the right job. I pick on Tom. But this 7 to 9 meter reading torque spec here is critical. It's there for a reason. All right, let's take a look at where we're at. Come on over here, Lisa, so you can see where we're at, what we're doing. So now that the upper intake or plenum is gone, you can see there's the runners for the intake. Of course, there's a few more things that's got to happen. I think that fuel rail's got to come off there, don't it, brother?
Yeah.
Okay. So what we're unplugging now is fuel pressure regulators. Just peeling the onion a little bit at a time. Just so you can kind of see what we're getting at there. Go ahead. You do you, boo-boo. I'm just showing the world what we're after there. That line right there is what Tom's disconnected. That's the fuel line. Here, let's see if I can get you a better picture. There you go. Kind of see what he's disconnecting there. There you go. Probably a safety idea at this point. Make sure you're not smoking when you disconnect the fuel rail.
Good plug.
You get an education pretty quick about why it's a bad idea.
Mr. Tom might need to invest in a headlight so he can get that flashlight out of his mouth and talk to his viewers.
Up and over. Got it? Can you get to it? You want me to grab it?
You good?
I won't be able to get it back on, but I can get it off. No, sir.
Get long arms Tyler in here.
Just turn it up. That's all I need.
Something else goofy to think about, and you need to think about it while you're doing the job. See this little magic thing right here? Oh my gosh, it looks broken. It looks wiggly. It's got a cap on it. This is a vent. That's what that's for. And that vent needs to be held up high. Now, if you're doing any four-wheeling, don't get deep enough in water that you get this wet. Get something up in there. What's that vent for, Tom?
Front differential.
Front differential. I was getting ready to say, I thought it was a transmission vent. There is a transmission. But anyway, so what happens is you plug that up, your front differential gets hot. You'll tear up the front end real fast. You'll tear up you'll be having Tom do front axles and front gear, ring and pinion gears and all that for you.
Which Tom does do that.
That's exactly right.
There are appointments available for that.
That's why I mentioned it. Because the next thing we might be doing is taking the 373 gears out of this and going a little taller.
Says the short man.
Says the short man. I hear you.
Got a good view there. What's he picking and poking at?
We're working on that fuel line, getting that fuel line disconnected. It's quite finicky. As you can imagine, it's really not made to come apart easy because you don't want it to come apart while you're driving down the road. So we're going to get that fuel rail disconnected. That fuel rail up and out of there. And then comes the lower intake. You want me to hold that light?
Tom is open for appointments for re-gears, lifts. I don't know, what else do
AC work.
AC work, front and rear differential work.
You want me to keep pressure while you're pinching? Extra set of hands are getting away at this point. Good night. Get that clip out. Why won't it let go? There we go. And there's all the extra fuel we was just talking about. So what Tom's doing right now is he's putting the clip that he just took out, that he had to take out to get that fuel line to let go, he's putting right back in so that when it comes time to assemble this, it'll actually snap in. He's preparing it. He's already preparing it for reassembly. That's what he's doing at this point. There you go. So now when it comes time to snap that back together, that was a trick he taught me when we were kids. He said, that's great that you're shaking apart. He said, but how are you gonna put it back together if you don't get it ready? So you see 3 connectors on the other side over there. Those are going to coil packs. Underneath the coil packs is the spark plugs. Well, there's a boot. There's a spark plug boot. Some people used to call a spark plug wire.
It's right there.
And if you're just joining us, we're working on a 2017 Jeep Wrangler. And we are trying to get to the oil cooler / oil filter housing. Here, underneath this is where the oil filter is. We're trying to get down to that because that's what's leaking. It is leaking bad enough. I'm going through about a quart of oil every week and a half, 2 weeks. But I drive a lot. The famous Chrysler 3.6. Strong motor, runs well. I've pulled down trees, helped folks after tornadoes and whatnot. We live in Kentucky, if you're watching from anywhere else. You might remember we had some storms come through a few years back. And this Jeep I wasn't afraid to hook to anything. It does have a bad shake at about 110. But on 35 1250s, you can expect that. I'm kidding. We don't make it to 110 in this thing.
Not on these Kentucky roads.
No. What are you after, brother?
For me, please. Thanks, sir.
Tom has over 35 years experience in the automotive field.
Man, he's old.
He's old. I know he don't look that old, but
Now, wait a minute. I'm older than him. So if he's old, what's that make me?
well,
I tell you what, I can say, and this is a commercial, it's not a shameless plug, it's a flat truth. I have known Tom for a long time. We've been friends. Those of us that know us knows that we've been friends for about 5 years. Since we were 5. And we were infected with gasoline and perfume at about the same time. Girls and cars took over our life for a long time. And anytime we got a chance to work on a car, we would. He turned it into a career. I was lazy. I just did the parts. I'll find you the parts, but I can't put it together. But this man right here can. And that's why I come to him. I can't fix this thing.
it's fun tearing it up though.
Oh, I have a blast tearing it up. Every time I call him, he's got that now what? What did you do now? In fact, he's going to make me put a sign on the dash that says, "Don't tear it up. You got to drive it home, stupid."
That's what he tells himself when we're out on the trails in our 2021 Rubicon too.
Yep. Don't break it. You got to pay to fix it.
And he can fix it. If you break your Jeep out on the trail, he's got over 10 years in the Jeep dealership. Been a Jeep owner for, gosh, I don't know how long we had Jeeps.
Long time.
Just empty every pocket.
That's right. In fact, and I won't name the dealership that he worked at, but there was a friend of ours that worked there. Who I just reached out to just the other day, brother.
Who's that?
Ted.
Huh?
Yeah. Yeah, I hadn't heard from him in a long time. I'm going to only use his first name. But I think you know who I'm talking about, Tom.
I do.
Okay.
I've heard that name a long time.
Yeah, he's a good old boy. He's a good old boy. But he got out of the car fixing business because he couldn't fix a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. But good guy. Ended up with some struggles, but he's doing good now. Rough.
It was rough then.
He was rough then. A lot of hard years on that man. So if you take this job on for yourselves, which I don't recommend, I recommend that you find somebody. In this case, I found somebody way smarter than me. But if you take this job on, make sure you have all of your pieces and parts before you get started. Count your gaskets. Make sure you've got antifreeze. Make sure it's the right kind of antifreeze. Make sure you got your oil, because you're going to be doing an oil change when you're done. You're going to need something to clean that valley pan with, so get you some good brake cleaner and shop towels. Make sure you got all of your equipment. And if you need to find a good parts guy, give me a call.
And if you don't want to do it yourself.
And if you don't want to, if you don't want to do it yourself, and I tell you what, there's no way I'd do this job. Especially, I don't have the equipment, I don't have the tools, and this is not a job you want to do in your driveway sitting at home. You got a gravel driveway sitting at home, you might want to rethink this one.
Tom's a man of few words. He gets very focused.
Well, until something goes bad, and
And he's got a lot of words then.
the first letter of focus is right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which is usually why the wife is not out here in the garage. Because Garage Tom is, yeah. But getting this new business started, I'm now a videographer.
I get you. Now, long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, we'd play music just because we didn't want any moms, and we were that young. We didn't want moms and everybody to hear us. I would venture to guess we've thrown a wrench or two.
Which is why the wife doesn't generally hang around with Garage Tom. She likes Husband Tom a lot better. Trail riding Tom, he's a lot of fun. Vacation Tom is a blast. Garage Tom can be kind of scary. He's behaving right now.
All is forgiven. That's all that matters.
Not sure what he's opening up here.
He's pulling the wiring harness back off of the lower intake manifold so that he can get to the valley pan. So you just got to go through and every sensor, so you see he's disconnected the coil packs.
Trying to get the injector unplugged.
That's each injector. So you got 3 injectors, 3 coil packs on each side past the fuel rail. You see the first piece we took apart. And those little plugs are, we get a minute, we don't interrupt him, I'll take you over and show you why it's such a hard time to get to these plugs and fight what he's fighting right there. There's a little tab that you have to lift but not break. So it takes a certain amount of finesse to unplug, and I tell you what, we'll walk around here in a minute. Let's go over here and I'll show you what we're talking about.
I'm gonna get a battery for my cigarette.
So what Tom is unplugging is, if you look at these little plugs here, you see this little red tab. When this little red tab is plugged in and pushed down, it locks this plug from coming off. Well, you got to make sure that you don't break this. After you get this red tab up, you can see that there's a little lift. You have to pull that off, but you got to pull it off from this little bitty spot right here. And it's kind of hard to get your fingers in there. I'll put my finger behind it so you can see where that goes. All right, so there's one there, and so there's 1, 2, 3 for the injectors on this injector rail. This is called the injector rail. The fuel injectors are here. Your coil packs are here. And all of that wiring harness needs to get peeled back and out of the way to get, I don't know if you can see a little bit better now, but this little guy right here is what we're trying to get to. Again, we're working on a 2017 Jeep Wrangler, 3.6 liter, and our oil cooler oil filter housing is leaking underneath the intake manifold. This is the lower intake manifold. You can see we've got the upper intake manifold off already. We just got to peel all this back a little bit at a time until we get to these bolts here. All this comes apart and up and out. We've got new gaskets. And this leaky piece of junk, poor design, some engineer made a bunch of money to put this crazy thing in here, is coming out. We're going to put a better quality product in there. You got a little dirty.
There's Tom Jr.
There's
somebody's
been out on a 4-wheeler.
I might take my truck through it.
Take it through where?
The little mud pit back on the other side of the
We
barn.
I
might
was
take
gonna
the
say, I hope
Jeep
it's
through.
on the other side of the barn, or you're gonna be answering to Grandma Linda.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Other side of the barn, right?
Other side of the barn. The correct answer is yes.
Yes.
Yes, there you go. That's my boy.
Not through the
so,
grass.
so Grandma Linda, if you are watching and you see the ruts, this is the man you need to give the rake to.
Mm-hmm.
With Tom Jr. here.
What do you think, man? You think I should let it ride like that all the time?
No.
Nose down, raked up like that? How's that? What's that do for you? Make you all warm and fuzzy?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Tom's got the new lift here at Tom's Auto. Got it.
While we were in here, we did this job. If you take a look, brand new brakes, slotted and drilled rotors. Yes, I'm proud of them. Hopefully, when I'm done, we go for a little ride. That'll put you through the windshield right there. Kind of tough stopping them 35 1250s. They ain't light, are they, brother? Old strapping young man like you, snatch them up like they're candy.
Mm-hmm. I can.
Yeah.
They still ain't white though.
I tell you what, this old man can't no more. I ain't got it in me.